What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome to episode number 275 of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. This is the Hot Tags edition of the week, where we're going to be breaking down some of the current events, rumors, news, or anything else we feel like talking about from the world of pro wrestling from the past couple of days. As always, I am your host, Tony Mango, and joining me on the mic for this episode is Drew White.
Hot tags, get your hot tags here. Hot tags. Hot tags.
Hot tags. You get your hot tags theme, you get your hot tags, you get a lot of things this episode. You don't get an outro anymore, but you get an impromptu intro.
Sometimes, depends.
No pyro, though. You gotta save it for WrestleMania, right?
I know, that's a few weeks away, man.
Mm-hmm.
You pumped? Yeah? I am.
I'm not pumped. I'm not as pumped as I was hoping that I would be, but some of the things are starting to win me over a little bit more. I mean, I gotta give Ben Guest credit. The Orton Wyatt thing, I thought I'd hate it more than I am.
I can't remember how many times Bray and Orton have faced each other, but I've always remembered that their encounters have been decent in the past. So I gave it a pass. A pass.
And give it a nice pat on the back.
Yeah, a good pat on the back. And I just honestly believe that those two would be fine. The only thing I'm disappointed in would be the Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match now will be for the title. And, that's cool, but that's kind of like the hand job of the WrestleMania. Like, it's all right, but you know what we really wanted, which is the Kevin Owens Chris Jericho match for like the titles.
Well, it's a little weird that that's the hand job when we know it's going to blow.
Yeah. No. It's still good. It's not bad, but
it is.
You know what we really wanted.
I thought you were doing a Roman Reigns thing there. It's not good. It's not bad. It's
I wish I did. It's it.
Well, that'd be like the Jericho thing mixed in with there. It's it.
You just made the it.
Well, we only have 4 things really to talk about today. Some of them bleed into it, the other ones, though. So we're going to kind of lump them all together a little bit, but start off with one that's a little bit separate from that, which is that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is going to be inducting Ravishing Rick Rude in this year's Hall of Fame class, which at this point now, this is looking like a damn good group of people. You got Rick Rude, who everybody's been saying for a long time needs to go in. Kurt Angle's the headliner. Rock and Roll Express, I don't really give a shit about, but some people do. Teddy Long, obviously he's somebody who we've been kind of pitching for a while. We've got DDP, Beth Phoenix. Am I missing somebody?
You said DDP, Beth Phoenix. I think that's it.
I think that's it. If I am missing somebody, then fuck them. Yeah, that is it. That's all I'm looking at right now. So yeah, it's a good group of people now. Ravishing Rick Rude obviously deserves to be on that list. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely well deserved. A top heel at one point in the company, and a damn good one at best as well. So, and kind of like what you said, this is starting to look like a really damn good class. The past couple, they've been all right. There's a couple that probably shouldn't have happened. But this year, it might be worth it to check out the Hall of Fame just because there's a lot of people who are well deserving of it. It's weird that they choose this year to do all of it compared to maybe like last year when they were trying to have the biggest WrestleMania ever, or like at WrestleMania 30. But I give it a thumbs up so far. Probably 2 thumbs up, actually.
Now, we still haven't heard anything about that Warrior Award.
Well, I mean, who would you think would get it this year?
I would think it's got to be Drax Shadow.
Wait, who?
The little kid. Ended up passing away a couple months ago. Stardust had that whole thing with him.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay. Yeah, that wouldn't be surprised. That's something that I would be expecting. Wait. Fuck! I just realized SmackDown was in Indianapolis tonight. I should have went to that. I'm an idiot.
It's just a random realization. It's, wait a minute, Drax Shadow. I should have went to SmackDown.
I'm sorry. I was looking forward to doing it, and then I completely forgot about it.
We
Oh,
still
well.
are waiting to get our tickets for Raw the night before WrestleMania, or the week before, not the night before. But
Was it?
that's gonna be in Philly. So
Ooh,
if we
I don't
go
know.
and you see a lot of really weird chants started, you know it's from us.
Well, first off, I don't know if they're gonna catch on as some of your chants. So if they do, that's cool. If not, then I'm sorry. I don't think I'll hear them.
Let's put it
But
this way: at least Neville Level's caught on.
the Neville,
That
that is
fucker's
true.
saying it all the time now.
Listen, I don't know if you should go to the Philly show, and I'm saying this because you guys tend to ruin Roman Reigns segments. And, sometimes, they're good segments, or good matches. He doesn't deserve it, man. He's the man, the guy, the myth, all the above, pretty
It.
much. The it. How do we get to this point?
I don't know. I lost track. We were talking about Rick Rude. That's how we got here. Somehow we got from Rick Rude to Roman Reigns and Philly crowds.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
That fucked up. It's not like we're talking about some horrible shit that I'd have to edit out later or something like that. We've done that before in the past.
I don't know. There's a couple that we probably should have done because it was too funny. There's actually a lot of stuff that it gets edited out, and I've always wondered, like, man, why would you do that? And then after like not listening to it a while and then going back to it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's probably a good thing.
There's some things I'm sure should have been edited out that weren't.
Oh, I can name a couple off the top of my head. And one of them is a mixture of like R-Truth and, Dolph Ziggler. So
Yeah, I remember that one. That was Sean, right?
yeah, it was.
And then there was the was it I who said it, or was it somebody else that said like the United States title should be changed over to the Cancer Championship or something? Sounds like something Wago or I would say.
I think it was you, and Wago was like egging you on to continue upon that path as well. So I think
We're
it was
horrible influences on each other at the very least.
No, listen, you bring out the best in each other, which is apparently, hating people who have a disease that's probably going to kill them.
Yeah, Well, if you're going to have something that you're good at.
Yeah, getting cancer and dying might as well be the thing.
Well, speaking of cancer and hating things, let's lump this all together and just kind of go on a rant a little bit. We've got Del Rio has joined the Impact Wrestling roster. He won the championship, and then, spoiler alerts for the people that actually do watch that shit, they have him give it up the next week, and then he's going to still be kind of in the title picture, so he'll probably win it again, but who fucking cares at that point? We've got the rumors of the Hardy Boyz going to WWE are really squashed at this point because they've signed with ROH instead. Although they're still trying to ride that momentum by still sort of picking fights with like Carl Anderson and such, and it's like, no, that's a little bit sad. And then we got somebody who wants to leave WWE, but they won't let him. And that's Jack Swagger. He requested his release, and WWE is not granting him the release. They said something along the lines of, we know that he requested it, we're not giving it to him, and he has a 90-day no-compete clause, and we're going to stick to that. So I don't know when his contract expires, but it could be well more than the 90-day limit before we see him elsewhere. But he tried his damnedest to get not only out of that, but to also start booking other matches. They announced him against Del Rio for a show, and now they had to pull it.
Dude, I don't know why he just doesn't do what he does best, which is just to get a little high and fail a drug test to get fired. That seems like the obvious choice for him.
Because clearly he likes doing that. So
yeah, no, I'm just saying that, that's going to come up on a drug test unless you're RVD, and Jack Swagger's not RVD, so he has to worry about that stuff. So instead, if he really wants to get at WWE, actually, do like something crazy like heroin. I don't know.
yeah, become a meth head, Swagger. Yeah. That'll help.
It's like, do like horse testosterone, but you like inject it in the heroin.
I could see Swagger being the type that's just kind of like, what was the thing I was supposed to do? Was horse what? I don't know, like eat horsehair? Yeah, sure. Just be a complete idiot like that. Glue's made out of horses and stuff, right? Yeah, just sniff glue. This whole situation to me, I mean, I wrote a big article about it, and I'm kind of going to repeat some of the points here, but I started at this out thinking, man, you know what? That sucks for Jack Swagger. They really haven't used him all that much. They put him on SmackDown. They said that they were going to have something for him, and then he really kind of disappeared. And it's a shame because he deserves better. He should have at least gone down to NXT. Then I started thinking about it. This is a dude that has never really been able to talk. He's never had any character. Because I started thinking of like the gimmicks he's had over the years. He was guy who points at his smile, guy who wears an American flag and has an eagle walking around with him, guy who has a racist manager, guy who no longer has racist manager. That's it. Like, he really has no personality. And they gave him this world title shot a couple of years after he had the world title and the Money in the Bank and the ECW title and the United States title. And what does he do a couple weeks beforehand? He gets a DUI, fucks the whole thing over. At this point, it's like, well, maybe Swagger deserves to kind of get released.
I would say that, but I just thought it was weird. Even after, because there was that period when it was him and Cesaro, when they were like a jobber tag team, but they were still heavily featured. I considered that his punishment at the time, and I thought after that broke up that they were going to give him another chance. Because in the past they've pretty much they've been dedicated to Swagger, but then at the same time they don't. Like, they'll give him like important matches and stuff, but then like you'll never win them and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I thought he would do more as well. I mean, I'm not the biggest Jack Swagger fan, but I definitely like him more than like Wago and Peyton. And I feel like he's a decent wrestler. I think he tells an interesting story sometimes. It's unfortunate because when you see Jack Swagger if you ever see him on TV now, he unfortunately only does like 6 moves, and one of them is pretty much like amateur wrestling moves on the mat, and he does his splash in the corner, and then he does some kind of power slam, and then he ends up getting like speared and then like jackhammered. I don't know. So, and lose. That's usually how it goes now. So I'll miss him if he leaves to an extent.
Oh, well, he's leaving it for sure at this point.
Yeah, I mean, when he does, it'll suck. Kind of. Actually, I don't think it will at all because I don't care. But
when's the last time that he was even on TV? Now that I'm trying to think about it,
he wasn't in the Rumble, right?
Nope.
Had
to have been like some kind of match against like Kurt Hawkins or something.
Yeah, like back in like September when Kurt Hawkins first showed up.
Or he might have been on Main Event, but nobody watches Main Event, so it doesn't really count. Like, I didn't even know that R-Truth was a commentator there until earlier today.
Okay, listen, I know what Jack Swagger could do to revitalize his career. Okay, he's gonna go to 205 Live.
I actually double-checked that when I was writing the article up. I was like, well, maybe they would have put him on there. I'm like, I know he's probably bigger than that, and yeah, he's 265, apparently.
No, that's just...
Unless they make 265
no.
Live.
Someone, like, no, it's a 0, and someone, like, drew a line, and then like it was drawn in pencils. They erased a little bit of it to make it look like a 6. He actually weighs 205. That's a mistake.
Well, Swagger's the type of guy that I think that they could have gotten more out of him if they really wanted to, but clearly they didn't really actually have that much invested in him over the past couple of years, because if they would have figured out a way to use him.
Can we just talk about the weirdest thing that might have happened in the span of like 2010 onward? Is Jack Swagger winning Money in the Bank randomly out of nowhere when it made really no sense at all for him to win it, and then him winning the title like 2 nights later, and then him losing it like 2 weeks after that?
That wasn't that soon after that.
Yeah,
it was like a couple months, wasn't it?
No, it was like I do not think it went more than like 30 days.
Let's see.
It's time to look up this stuff.
This is time when we bring out the Google machines and start looking it up. Because he lost to, I think, Rey Mysterio, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, something like that. World
And I
Heavy.
think that might have been like Money in the Bank or again or something. No, yeah, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view maybe.
I don't think he won it that night. I thought Rey
Apparently, he
Mysterio had-
lost it 82 days later to Mysterio on Fatal 4-Way.
So he had it for 82 days.
Just 82, yeah. Which is, I mean, it's not.
Those 82 days must have went by really fast then.
It was March 30th, 2010 to June 20th.
See, I don't get it. I don't get it.
He had a longer reign than Jericho did. Before that,
Yeah,
Jericho had a 37-day reign.
yeah, but he. Yeah.
Yeah, but now that you said that.
Yeah. I'm just
Although
saying that.
Mysterio lost it 28 days later to Kane, who had a much better reign, 154 days. So they upgraded when it came to Kane, but they downgraded with Mysterio in my mind. Mysterio, never been a big fan of him.
In my head, I was thinking that Kane lost the title to Undertaker.
What, around the same time?
Yeah, I thought Kane and Undertaker had a feud on SmackDown, and like they had a Hell in a Cell match in like 2010. And I could have sworn that Taker won it to win the title, but
No, Taker beat Punk before that. That was the Punk cashes in on Hardy, and then Punk's got the title, loses it to Taker, who loses it to Jericho, loses it to Swagger, loses it to Mysterio, loses it to Kane, loses it to Edge, and then it was vacated because that was like that whole Vicky Guerrero thing.
did Taker and Kane have a feud in 2010?
Or, well, maybe not 2010. I don't know about that. I think so, though. I think that's what like rode the momentum going forward. Or maybe that was around the time that, yeah, that must have been, because that was Kane's world title thing, and he had to have had that around that time.
Yeah.
And then we start getting into, like, the Christian Orton stuff, which was good, and, you know. But
Kane.
Swagger did have some opportunities. It's not like he should be like, well, they never gave me a shot with the title. They gave you a couple different ones.
No, they gave him a couple of shots. And like I said, I still think him like winning the world title and that Money in the Bank is like the weirdest thing to happen, because it made no sense when they did it, and just like it did nothing for him at all. So, and kind of like you said, yeah, they kind of gave him shots at the same time, and he didn't really take full advantage of them. Like one time he like the DUI, I think he had possession of marijuana as well, which was which at the time, you know, they're more chill about that kind of stuff now, but still definitely not a good thing for the public to know that. And then there's incidences before that, I believe, because that was like his second time getting busted for something.
A couple things, I think.
Yeah. So
he made it a little hard to sort of be like, well, at least Jack is kind of like, he might not know what he's doing yet, but let's give him another shot. It was like, well, now he's kind of a dick, and he isn't that good either. I mean, it was fine. I mean,
see, it'd be weird if, I don't know if when he leaves the company, I don't know if he'll badmouth the company or not.
I got a feeling he will.
I mean, most people do, so that's not surprising. But there's a part of me that thinks just he might not, and that I think the situation is just more about mutual agreements. Like I think he if he doesn't know that, you know, he kind of deserves this, then he's a lunatic, and he probably needs like actual mental help by that point. But I just don't. Oh God!
See, I think if they would have given him the release that he requested and he would have just started wrestling elsewhere, you might not be hearing much about it. But I think that they're drawing this out as much as they can now. It's probably pissing him off. And as soon as he gets a chance to, he's going to do one of those U-shoots or something. And he's just going to be like, well, John Cena holds everybody back. And the same shit we see from everybody else, you know?
He's going to do it on Cole Cabana's podcast.
Be like, Triple H doesn't know what he's doing. Vince McMahon, you know, I remember this one time where Ryback, and then Ryback will jump into the mix, and he'll be like, I got a podcast too, everybody, you know, that kind of thing.
The only one ever believed in me was Jim Ross, and blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck Jack Swagger. Yeah, I just did a 180 on that. Yeah, never mind.
Well, that guy kind of plays a little bit into the Del Rio thing because Del Rio was advertising the idea that he was going to fight Swagger. Now they're looking for somebody else, but Del Rio's part of the TNA side of things. And TNA, I mean, they're basically looking like what their big decision is of how do we fix the fuck ups that we've done over the past couple of years is let's go back to the way that we used to fuck things up. Because all they're doing now is bringing back Matt Morgan, Jeff Jarrett, LAX is apparently going to be returning. So they're just going back to the way that they were before the Hogan, Bischoff, Dixie Carter type of stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of
added
weird.
Del Rio in the mix, though. That's it.
I'm not surprised that Del Rio went to TNA. I expected it at some point, but I'm kind of confused to why they're doing this storyline with him. But they lose two decent people with Drew Galloway, and who was the other person that left? Oh no, it was a person, the Hardys.
Yeah, and they go over to ROH because they wanted the control for all their creative character stuff, which apparently that might get them into some kind of legal trouble with Impact, and then that's going to be obviously a big problem if they were to go to WWE, because WWE is not going to be like, okay, you can retain every right to everything and just have full creative control. They're not letting the Hardys do shit.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I really don't like Del Rio at this point, and I'm like the one that liked him the most out of everyone. I don't really like him, so he comes off a bit as a douche.
Yep. He talked a lot of shit about Impact in the past.
Yeah.
It was always like, well, they're below me, they can't pay me enough. If that means one of two things, either they did pay him enough, which at that point, you're really going to spend that much money on Del Rio, or they didn't pay him enough, and they paid him the same that they were like offering before, and he just needs it,
Yeah. Don't know which one it is, but Del Rio seems like the type of guy who would blow all of his money on like drugs and that kind of stuff. Like, I would not be surprised if like in a year from now we see an article that Del Rio died and like he had so much drugs in his system that he should be like powder.
You have the wrestling term where it's like he's gonna powder him. It's gonna Del Rio him from now on. It's kind of like that whole thing of the International being a punch. Well, I'm also curious how this plays into Paige.
Oh, she's gone at this point.
I could see her going to Impact now.
Now, do you think if Paige could request her... do you think
he's got a random H in the middle of her name? Paige?
If you think if Paige requests her release, you think WWE would give it to her?
No. I think they're going to drag that out too.
How long do you think that's going to be?
Oh, well, the last time that some of that talk had gone up with the whole, like, her getting arrested and being injured and suspended and all that was, like, what, October or something like that?
Was that the last time she wrestled?
Oh, no, that's been way before that. I don't even remember the last time that she wrestled, but she apparently is on, like, a decent contract, like, of at least, like, another year or two. But really, what's the point in continuing to pay these people if they're not going to be doing anything good for you? Like, if I'm WWE and I look at somebody like Paige or a Del Rio or a Swagger, those people weren't, like, going around doing charity events and being ambassadors for the company and wrestling in any capacity in different ways. Like, Swagger's been out of the mix, Paige has been injured and suspended.
Well,
they're not even doing network shows, so they're not valuable.
Well, I would disagree with you in a few ways with that. First off, with Paige, she did Total Divas, so she did provide in some way. Even actually, she was on this past season right now. She hasn't been on television in like almost a year now. It feels like. So she does provide that, and also, I disagree with you with her charity work. I believe she does more than some people in the company.
Paige does? I don't remember ever really seeing much, but
I saw more stuff than you would think.
But at the very least, I don't remember ever seeing Swagger.
No, trust me. Actually, no, I lied. I saw him do the Be a Star stuff.
Oh, that was probably mandatory at that point. They're like, "Can you double check to make sure that you can read too?" And he's like, "All right, I'll do the Read Across America thing or something." You know. Hey
I
Swagger,
think
you're
that,
big. You probably bullied somebody. You want to do Be a Star?
yeah, you definitely know. Not Swagger. Sheamus totally was the bully, and they're just making him do it.
Mm-hmm. It's like karma catching up to him. And
Him
by
saying
karma, I
that
don't
he
mean
was
Awesome Kong.
skinny, short, skinny, and pale. It's like, shut up, Sheamus. You were tall, big, and you bullied and punched everyone in your sight.
And then you asked them if they were entertained.
Sheamus.
The old Sheamus.
Sheamus.
So I think that's it as far as hot tags go for what I had written down. Is there anything you wanted to toss into the mix?
I don't know. Do you think I don't know. I didn't get a chance to like really talk about Fastlane too much. And I listened to you and Sean talk about it. So I just want to know if you think Goldberg versus Lesnar for the title is just as lame-o as I think it is.
I hate the idea that that's for the belt. I've hated it since the beginning. I thought that it's just it bugs me because I hate the idea that Lesnar's going to hold the title hostage until SummerSlam again.
That is true. That's the one thing I don't like about it. I know Wega will end up defending Lesnar with the title like he did last time, which is fine. I get that point as well, but it's just something that I think is redundant. Like they could have done so much more with the Kevin Owens Chris Jericho. I don't know if that would have main evented, but if that main evented WrestleMania, like that match, just imagine how insane it would be.
That's the only match on the card that you can tell for sure people are going to be 100% in for it.
Yeah. That like wait, even with if with it just for the US title, fine, that's cool. Like I'm glad that they're still doing it, but man, they missed such an opportunity to do something amazing. Something different that they haven't done in a long time. So, but I guess it's fine that you're going to use the big names, but you definitely could have created a big name if Kevin Owens beat Jericho in the main event for the title. Uh-oh.
And your dog agrees.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, man.
Either that or fervently disagrees. Fuck you, I like Goldberg.
Probably going to bark at me again if I say something out of line.
It's because you're going to say that you don't like the big dog, Roman Reigns, and then he's going to be like, I like that guy, he's a dog.
I told you, I tell you, we call him Little Man right now, but when he turns 1 year old, we're going to call him the big guy.
You're going to give him one of those propeller hats, like,
hey, little man, you going to sit? Sit. Oh, dude, he's got a propeller hat, and we're going to give him a bunch of French fries.
This big.
Dude.
It's going to transition from Ryback with the annoying tourist idiot stuff to him being a dog asking dog questions. And it's going to be like, so you think I am really the best boy? I mean, I've been heard I'm a good boy, but...
Doggo, bull on the ground. Who's the best doggo of them all? It's you. It's you, man.
Well, does your dog have any hot tags he wants to throw into the mix? Is there like big story about the British Bulldogs or Road Dog, or should we do another ask him about name every dog, like name every bull?
Shut up! I hated that. That was so stupid. You know damn well that the Brahma bull.
It totally counts.
No, it doesn't. But you're telling me that dashing Cody Rhodes doesn't count?
Not as a different wrestler, no.
Yes, it does. It's a different gimmick.
Different gimmick for the same wrestler. It's not the same as Kane and Isaac Yankem.
Did you count Corporate Kane, though?
No, he's still Kane.
Yeah,
all Kanes are all Kane.
I hate you so much.
Unless there's some indie wrestler named like Sugar Cane or some bullshit like that.
Oh, dude, no, that's probably some like female wrestler at some point on the indies. You know someone, but it was with a K. They had to be different. And I guarantee you, if you look up Sugar Cane as a wrestler, you'll probably get some blonde and like her nude because she's at a very low point in her life.
She comes
And
out to
wrestling
that
isn't
song,
cutting it.
"Sugar Sugar, how you look so fine."
You can do that as well.
I think it's good enough time to call it quits for this episode, right? Before we start getting into crazier shit. So, everybody, leave your comments below. Tell us what you think about these different topics. What is the future of Del Rio and Impact? Are you excited for that? If you are, I feel sorry for you. Same thing with Hardy Boyz and ROH. What is your position of who's at fault with the Jack Swagger release? And what are your thoughts on Ravishing Rick Rude going into the Hall of Fame? And anything else we talked about? Is Drew's dog a good boy or not? We'll have to find out next week.
He's a good boy. He's like the best boy. He is. I'm not lying.
I didn't hear any kind of disagreement on his end, so right now he's sitting there going,
he's waiting for his.
Yeah, that's what that pause was. I was hoping to see if he would just kind of be like, "Burp." Yeah. Feel like, damn right.
I'm scratching his back. He's satisfied right now.
You got the good scratches going on. I'm envious.
Yeah.
Anything you want to toss out for the promotional side of things, Drew?
Oh, well, if you follow me on the Twitter machine, it's at Joseph White. I post there sometimes about stuff, it just depends on the mood, the time of day, and I don't know how I feel. That's like how most decisions work in life. So there's that if you want to like do that. There's Mick Frickin' Duncan on the YouTubes where I might post something, Peter, maybe. You gotta beg if you want it at this point. And then, go to the Mega Maniacs on the Facebook where you can party it up with us and, bullshit and have fun and do cool things like talk about wrestling, which is amazing. So do that.
Little note about that party, though, we might not be serving punch.
We're not serving punch. We're going to serve that loud.
We're going to serve internationals.
We're going to serve that purple drink.
Alrighty, guys, from my side of things, obviously, keep checking out Smark Out Moment on Facebook and Twitter, the website itself. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and hit that little bell icon to get the notifications of anything that we post up on the channel here. We've got a couple other things coming your way this week. The Ask Him is going to be the next thing. Then there's going to be my fantasy booking of WrestleMania for this year. Then at the end of the week, the Smark Out Moment Hall of Fame Class of 2017. Next week, we're going to start getting into a couple of different things as well. We've got the mailbag, and most likely, I'm still not 100% sure about it yet, the St. Patrick's Day Superstar Showdown, which sounds far more entertaining than it probably is going to be.
Yeah, no. I'll be there and I'll make it entertaining. I'll get shit-faced. If you have Sean on, he'll get shit-faced too.
But that's not even just because it's St. Patrick's Day. That's going to be, it's a Tuesday, fucking hell, that kind of thing.
Actually, no, it's Wednesday, and I know it's Tuesday and Wednesday, and fuck it all.
We got Hall of Fame stuff for the non-Smark Out Moment Hall of Fame coming up over the next 2 weeks at some point as well. The Sporkle quiz for that. Probably a Wrestling with the Past, although we've kind of been talking a lot about the Hall of Fame, so maybe not. I don't really know. Kind of depends on that week. NXT TakeOver predictions at the end of the month, as well as the WrestleMania predictions, and then we start getting into April, and then bam, 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 we got post shows for both those things, and then we start getting into whatever the hell is happening with April. But that's what you got to look forward to on the channel, so stay tuned for all that kind of stuff. But for now, this has been another Smark Out Moment, and we're being counted out.